Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the stream. I'm the delicious and mythical host, GriffinMuffin, and it's not capturing Pillars of Eternity. Don't know why. There we go. Minor hiccup there, but we're back into it. So we're here tonight with a very important little thing. So you reach a certain point in Pillars of Eternity where you have to pursue, forgot his name, Theosix Arcanon, and you have to ask for guidance to enter Sun and Moon, so that you can actually, because it's pretty much like a giant pit with spikes at the bottom. So the only way you can survive is to get guidance from get favor from the gods to jump in and be like, oh, and you're all saved and stuff. I'm at that moment now where I'm gonna petition myself to one of the gods, well, gods plural even, and it's gonna be interesting to see how that goes. I don't know who I'm gonna go for or what's gonna happen, so I am really keen. I have saved it because I will have to record this later for the essay. Sorry, for the video I'm doing, because that's actually where I'm at really at this moment. I called it like I must consult with the elder gods, because it does really feel like I must consult with the elder gods sort of stuff. So let's just save over that again, because I'll need to record this again anyway. So for the video. So yeah, there's that. I hope everyone's had a good week. And let's get into some Pillars of Eternity. So, what can we interact with here?
Certainly.
Let me know if there's any audio issues, if anyone comes in later. the moment, though, I think it's okay. I did a lot of checking before I started this stream, so. Some books over here. Probably something that'll give me some guidance. 10 Years of Dawn. Giftbringer Iden. God of Cold. Rumagond. I wonder if I will have... I didn't really even look at... I only looked to Galawain for guidance. So that'll be pretty interesting. Who I decide to go with. I've been thinking of Berith as well. And we've seen this one already. Final Journal of Uranus. Talking about Skane. I don't think I'd really petition myself to Skane for any real reason. Hand Occult. Many Faces of Berith. I think maybe Berith, but I remember Berith had a really harsh quest. It was like, you had to kill someone or something. Book of the Hunt. Daily Affirmations of Focus and Efficiency. That's the Abaddon one. That's Margren. Yep. Midwife's Memoirs. That would be Helia. And the queen that was is Wardica. So, let's see how it goes.
A brothel for the age.
So, Helia, Berith, was that Skane? No, Skane's here. Wardica, Rumagond, Andra, Wal, Abaddon. Well, I've already kind of helped out Abaddon, so let's see how that goes. Oh no, I don't want that. Nothing happens when you approach Wardica's shrine. Who'd have guessed? How can I pray to Abaddon? I guess you can't. Nah, not Helia. Pray to Berith. Oh, okay. So I have to actually know what to say to get their attention. So I might as well have a look through. No, Berith wasn't here. Berith was over here, I believe. Their scripture is here somewhere. Many Faces of Berith. Actually, yeah, that's the thing as well. As you may not notice throughout the stream, no drinks tonight. I had a couple of drinks with a mate last night. I'm just not really in the mood for drinking alcohol, so it's just sweet hydration this evening. Which I know is terribly dull and boring, but I think we can all live with it. How fitting that we know the god of cycles, doorways, and mortality and inevitability as Berith, while the Valians know this very same god is Cyrano. Kirano? I'm gonna say Cyrano. For if nothing else, Berith teaches us that duality exists in all things. There is in life and death in life. Embrace this duality and you honor Berith. In the ruins, Glanfath, Berith is depicted in the new form of two semi-skeletal figures, one male, one female. Bunan I Anku, and Anku I Bunan, literally life in death and death in life, in the Glanfathan tongue. Male and female, inside and out, life and death, we often think that Berith by imagining two sides of a coin, or two endpoints of a journey. It's said that Berith has the most petitioners of every god, and this is likely true. Who amongst us has not prayed for the cycle to hiccup? Who has not, in the moment of sadness, yelled at Berith to make an exception for our fallen loved ones? Berith may not rescue our loved ones, but it answers our prayers in its own divine way. Berith is the god that makes life end in death, and it is also the god that makes death end in life. Berith, Corono, Cyrano, Bunan I, Anku I Bunan. Sorry if I butchered all that. Whichever has the many names you prefer to choose, deserve our prayers, for it has given us the promise of life's eternal renewal. That's awesome. I noticed as I was reading that my asthma was kicking in, so... Alright, so we know what to say to Berith. You kneel before the shrine and prepare to recite the ritual's words. That's her. There's a rippling shift in the air around you, as if some unfelt wind has changed, bringing up unexpected warmth. You feel the peculiar weight of an unseen presence and eyes upon you. You kneel and pray to Berith. Even while your eyes are closed, you see a road that seems to stretch on forever. The stars wheel overhead in a clockwork rotation of constellations, disappearing over the horizon to your left, only to rise on your right. You try to make out the details on either side of the road, but your eyes can't seem to focus. One moment you think you see a meadow blanketed in mist, and another sheer canyon walls. For just an instant, you even see waves lapping at the edge of the road. Were you to step into the shifting landscape, you feel uncertain you would end up back on the road. You know this is a vision, but the packed dirt feels firm beneath your feet and the night air cool on your face. You are walking. Your feet seem to carry you forward on their own accord. Something looms ahead over you. As you get closer, you see two stone figures that look strangely familiar. Our old friends, Life and Death and Life. Were we in the realm of the twin god? And here are its two aspects. You remember the door to Clearbarn Relag, and the two figures carved into the mountain next to it. One looks vaguely male and the other vaguely female. Only a thin layer of flesh covers their skeletal bodies, which twist to face the doorway between them. The doorway, however, is not what you saw in the ruins. It's a skull, gaping and jawless, and as you look on, its mouth seems to grow. The arms of the two stone sculptures are swept toward the mouth, inviting you in. Enter the skull's mouth. The road continues through the moor to another shifting landscape surrounded by stars. As you pass through it, you see an identical doorway in the distance. A dwarven man stands near it, unmoving. You turn and look behind you, only to see the skull gate you just passed through facing you. An elven woman waits in the road. Like the dwarf, she stands still. Approach the elven woman. You start toward her. There's something unnatural about the way she stands. She's too still. When you get closer, you see that her legs taper into a slender trunk, and in the place of her feet are gnarled, twisted roots. She lifts her face to an invisible sun. Her long, golden hair is the color of autumn leaves, and as you look more closely, you realize that her head is actually covered with tendrils and vines sprouting brilliant yellow leaves. Each glimmers with the essence of an entire soul. She gives you a beatific smile. As you look on, the leaves slowly fall from her head and settle at her roots. They melt into the path beneath her, and almost immediately new leaves sprout in the place of the old. She reaches towards you, still smiling as roots spring from her fingertips. Her outstretched arms bar the path. Come, graft your soul to the golden grove. Take her hand. Her roots twine around your fingers, and as you do, they grow rigid and cold. Her outstretched arm petrifies as a rough stone bark overtakes her flesh. You can only look on in horror. You break away from the brittle grasp. Her feet are rooted in place, but she twists and writhes as if trying to flee her own dying limb. The petrification reaches her shoulder and spreads down her body, freezing it in a painful arc. It creeps up her neck, and she throws her face skyward like a drowning swimmer. The grayness covers her face, freezing her gasp in stone. Now that she is still and lifeless, you can continue past her. Only the golden leaves on her head remain untouched, and as you watch, they fall one by one onto the path below. They shrivel as the shimmering essence fades from them. You lift your gaze and see the dwarven man standing down the road. Approach the dwarven man. You continue down the road toward him. He looks up at you as you approach, but you can't tell if he's looking at you or through you. His face is smooth but flaccid, as if the flesh has detached from the muscles underneath. As you look on, his face begins to change. Wrinkles crack at the corners of his eyes. His mouth sinks, carving deep lines into his nose at the corners of his lips. His jowls sag, and the loose flesh hangs like dough. He raises his cupped hands. They're covered in blood. He lifts them to his face and smears himself with the newly creased forehead to the wattles of his neck. As he massages the dark sticky fluid into his skin, the flesh wrinkles disappear, the hanging folds recede, and his flesh tightens as if re-adhering to his skull. He lifts his head, and this time, you know he's looking at you. His renewed face looks like a mask, artificially smooth and still. Behind it, his black eyes are two hungry pits, yawning like the empty mouths of skulls. Come, make your sacrifice to Ethic Knoll. His body blocks the path. He extends a bloody hand towards you. Take his hand. You grab his hand, but his skin gives too easily under your grip, and as you try to pull away, you hear a noise like dried canvas tearing. His skin splits, following a long seam that begins at his arm and stretches the length of his body. Blood gushes forth in such quantities you can't imagine there was anything else in him. Sure enough, as the dwarf empties of blood, he collapses like a desiccated husk. The blood in the path seems to be 1,000 souls worth of essence. The essence evaporates, trailing shining filaments into the night sky. Only now that he is dead can you continue onward. The blood pools around your feet, and the voice echoes around along the road. Barely more than a whisper on the breeze. Return them to the wheel. You look up and see the skull gate ahead of you. The candles of Ter Evron wink through the open mouth. Yeah, it's this quest. Servant of Death. So, I think with Berith, her whole thing, well, their whole thing is you have to kill 2 people. You can go Servant of Death. Berith tires of mortals evading the natural cycle of death and rebirth. He showed me 2 individuals. Alright, he showed me 2 individuals in particular, a dwarven man and an elven woman, who have extended their lives for centuries, and the lives of these 2 figures from Berith's vision. Berith, the god of death. He said something about Ethic Knoll, who I learn what it is. Someone in the Golden Grove. Let's talk to Wal. See how Wal's doing, huh? Oh wait. A piercing ring fills your ears as you near Wal's shrine. There is no other response. Okay, I can't go to him. No worries. Who's this guy? It's Rimagond. Alright, so we need to find the Rimagond thing.
Need something?
Nope. For obvious, go find Rimagond's thing. 10 years. God of Cold. Here we go. I'll take some water. A lot of talking in this particular episode, in this particular live stream. My mouth is so dry. Okay. Young students are often confused by Berith and Rimagond's seemingly overlapping roles in holding dominion over death. Berith oversees the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Rimagond oversees the cold, destructive act of death itself. This difference is often difficult for novices to appreciate until they've lost a loved one and endured the absence for a time. It is Berith that determines when we will be reborn, just as certainly as we will die, but Rimagond is the executioner's axe. Rimagond shows us that all life ends in stillness. I need only show them the symbol of Rimagond, the bone-white aurochs skull, found carved into most ancient Ingwithan ruins. It is a symbol of death and doom in every culture. Any child with 4 winters under his belt needs no introduction to the ancient symbol. Rimagond embodies not just death, but all manifestations of collapse, be they famine, plague, or simple bad luck. Excuse me. Rimagond is a primal god, silent and inscrutable as death itself. He makes himself known with his passing, not by proclamation. There are innumerable stories of the god's terrifying passage through the lands of Aora, and the beast of winter stirs. Bitter winds and beastly howling follow the creature's every move. Wherever the beast plants a hoof, all life withers into dust. The faithful of Rimagond insist that even another god's life can end in stillness. They claim the other gods must flee from the beast of winter's mastery over death, but we know that this boast holds but we know not if this boast holds true. Though the beast of winter is shrouded in snowy clouds, those who have seen the shaggy white monster claim the souls of the fallen can be seen clinging, or perhaps frozen, to the beast's fur. The dwarves of the boreal south have numerous stories that tell of a similar plot. A brash hero seeks out the beast of winter to rescue the souls of those trapped in its fur. These tales never end well, for even if the hero saves the beloved soul, the hero dies in the process. For it is not a proper tale of Rimagond unless the hero's life ends in stillness. Well, I'm having a pretty good guess as to what we do to pray to Rimagond. All life ends in stillness. You feel a sudden gust of cold air as if the shrine were bursting with wintry life. The frigid wind cuts through you like a sharpened blade, and darkness encroaches upon the edges of your sight. You kneel and close your eyes. As you pray, the blackness fades to white. A howling wind fills your ears. The vision that slowly resolves itself is a broad, frozen plain. You see a procession of elves in the distance, periodically fading into and emerging from the whiteness. They trudge over the snowbanks, their heads down against the driving winds. As they trek past you, one man bundled in furs turns his head. You headed for Noonfrost and the Frostume breach too? Before you can answer, he's lumbered ahead. You follow the caravan, and in a couple minutes you come to a wall of ice. It disappears into a pale emptiness overhead, and stretches as far as you can see in either direction. The elves stop in front of a mirror-smooth section that's framed like a temple door. It seems somehow thinner than the rest of the wall. You can't see what's on the other side, but a debilitating cold emanates from within. The elves pull pickaxes and shovels from their sealskin backpacks and begin hacking at the smooth ice, their implements flying through the air in swift, shining arcs. Though they throw their bodies into their labor, not one of them so much as scratches on the polished ice. Yet with each blow, something bellows in the distance. The elves hack away, seemingly oblivious to the furious lowing and the tremors underneath your feet. The snow has risen to your knees. Your legs feel frozen to the drifts. Try to get the elves' attention. You grab the nearest elf by the shoulder, shaking her and yelling over the howling winds. You point to the direction of the booming voice, but she only scowls. "Leave us, traveler. We've got to get through. We can't stay on this side any longer." "But you haven't even shipped the ice." "I know. That's why we've got to keep working." Wait. Oh. They ignore me. Wait. You watch as the elves continue to work at the ice. They pay no heed to the rumbling roar or the numbing wind. Their movements, however, gradually slow. They labor at the ice with arduously sluggish movements until they finally freeze in place. Some mid-swing and others preparing for the next blow. You touch the elf nearest to you, and he crumbles into a mound of snow. A final gale blows past, scattering the remains of the elves in a chaotic flurry. You notice a single spider web crack in the smooth barrier. It's the only thing that mars the perfect surface of the ice. Whatever's on the other side of the strange doorway, you feel it tugging at you. Only when you look back do you see the parallel gashes trailing behind your legs into the snow do you realize how strong its pull is.
My end comes to all things in time. Seal the frost-hewn breach and instruct the pilgrims in the patience of Rimagond.
Plug the hole with your finger, plug the hole with a handful of snow. You stick your finger into the hole and feel a stinging cold. You yank at your hand back, but the finger snaps off and remains wedged into the crack. Hoary rime instantly grows over the smooth surface of the frozen doorway, fusing it with the rest of the wall. A crystal of ice grows over your frozen stub. As you examine it, the vision around you fades, and your finger rises from the stump, but a shard of unmelting ice remains on your palm. Well, alright then. At Rimagond's shrine, I saw a procession of pale elves perish before the wall of ice. I found Noonfrost, Rimagond's temple in Oldsong. Frostume Breach must be here. When I find it, I can use the shard from the vision to close it according to Rimagond's wishes. I think I might do that one this time. I didn't do that last time. Okay.
Certainly.
Where's Margaret? Margaret's here.
Following your lead. Zawa is ready.
I can't remember how you talk to Margaret.
Zawa is ready.
That's Bereth.
Zawa is ready.
I guess I gotta talk to all of them. Oh wait, what's Gallowayne's thing? Survival begins with strength from within. That sounds like something Gallowayne would say. Yeah, there we go. The air around you stirs, and a gust. So just to be sure, I said survival begins with strength from within. Definitely something Gallowayne would say. The strength around you stirs, and a gust of warm wind blows at the back of your neck. You catch the faintest smell of wet earth. Mouth is dry again. As you kneel in front of the shrine, you feel yourself pushed forward. You catch yourself on your hands and knees, feeling warm, damp ground beneath them. Looking around, you find yourself crouched in a clearing in the middle of the woods. The smell of dirt hangs heavy in the air. You feel certain this is a vision, but the hairs on the nape of your neck still rise. Something leaps from the bushes. You find yourself pinned on your back and staring into the amber eyes of a massive hound. The beast looks at you. Gleaming fangs protrude from the sides of its mouth. Its nose twitches as it inhales your scent, starting at your shoulder, and proceeding down the length of your arm. You follow its nose to your hand, which is covered in blood. A tongue is red and meaty as a steak lolls out of its mouth and swipes your bloody hand. Its lips curl into what looks like a smile. The beast looks back at you, and then it fixes you with its glowing eyes. Its muzzle retreats into a long, bearded face, and its pointed ears lengthen, dropping to the sides of its head. What was once a massive hound becomes a giant of a man, his broad, muscled shoulders draped with furs. He holds his flint knife to your neck and grins, revealing a long row of pointed teeth.
Tread carefully. Let my face be a warning sign to always treat Gallowayne and his messengers with caution and reverence.
The lioness reigns still, and soon her cubs will rise. Why did you strike the bear down?
Oh, yes, referencing this. If Uranus could not seize victory, he did not deserve it.
As always, you sniff out the heart of the matter. Worthiness is proven in conflict. Might grappling with might. Flesh tears, bones break, and the ones that mend are stronger still. Blood mixes, and the worthier substance rises to the top. And you have proven worthy.
He lets out a howl that rings through the air. He lowers his head, puffs of steam rising from his panting mouth. Twigs crunch and branches snap. The ground shivers under the weight of pacing, prowling footsteps. A dozen beasts, bears, wolves, and long-fanged cats, stalk out of the undergrowth, their matching amber eyes fast on you. Such powerful specimens, larger than anything I've seen in the forests of Erglanfath. The father of monsters is deserving of his name. As the beasts encircle you, their master rises to his feet. Even the largest of the bears can only reach his browned and muscled knotted shoulders. You stand mindful of the ring of predators surrounding you.
You sought and won the favor of Gallowayne. What new prey do you now pursue?
I guess I already did it. Cool, I hunt Theos.
To track a quarry, you must understand its movements. And Theos follows the path of a more powerful master.
A warm breeze carries the smell of smoke and gunpowder. Sparks ignite and float in the draft. Catching in the leaves over Gallowayne's head, a sudden blast of heat scalds your face, and even as you turn away, a flash of light sears your vision through your eyelids. When you look back, you see a woman in full plate standing next to Gallowayne. Her mirror-polished armor flickers with images of reflected flames. You can't see her face, but her voice is strong and clear like ringing of steel.
Let her know her foe.
The whore breaks her silence at last. Have you missed me, Margaret? You may have found other lovers, but surely none was my equal. Margaret says nothing in response. Instead, she doesn't even glance in Durance's direction. An involuntary tick causes the baggy skin under Durance's eyes to quiver. He says no more, his ruddy skin blanched white.
Theos has trapped thousands of souls in sun and shadow like rabbits in a snare. Now, he goes there to retrieve the kill for his master Woodica.
It's not sun and moon, it's sun and shadow. Ugh. Sorry, I've been saying that wrong for like the last few weeks.
She will feast on them, suck their marrow, grow strong on their essence.
Why would Theos help Woodica?
Because he is her hound. He has always done her bidding.
Woodica stands for an old order. So does Theos.
A golem made of blackened, pitted iron steps out of Margaret's shadow. Its movements are slow yet precise, each footfall accompanied by the groaning and grinding of metal. The steady orange glow of furnace coals emanates from its eye sockets. In Abaddon's cruel yet efficient form, you see an uncanny resemblance to the eyeless, yet his limbs are more finely wrought, his joints more flexible. So obviously that little text probably came in since I did White March. You also feel the essence of the eyeless teeming within him. So what we did, it's really good that you do this before this quest. That's awesome.
They both fear change, and the Deerwood has changed much recently. People find answers not in the gods, but in animancy, the product of their own labors.
Damn right.
And why not? When they have learned that even a god can be killed.
Was that not as you commanded, my lady? We sought only to stoke your pride by bringing your vision to reality. Margaret stands still, unwavering, as if it is as though she had not heard him at all. Animancy doesn't seem to trouble you. Three gods seem to look at one another. One of the wolves sits and scratches its neck with quick strokes of its hind leg.
The clash of ideas, the search for answers and meaning. These are other hunts.
Good point. They would supplant you. How can you simply accept this so easily?
This is the destiny of Kith, to struggle and transform, even through animancy.
And to improve. Steady labor and earnest industry elevate Kith above Wilder and Beast. It is also useful that they should learn to improve their souls, whether through struggle, transformation, or labor. On this, at least, we have no disagreement.
You haven't done anything to stop Theos.
There is a pact. One Woodica herself has just barely kept. We gods must allow mortals to direct their own affairs.
This limit keeps peace between us.
So Woodica directs Theos, and he does her will.
And now these three direct us.
It is not our fight.
What should I do about it?
Track Theos. Follow the trail he has left for you, and corner him in sun and shadow.
You must stop him before he empowers Woodica.
And if you do, you will have a different decision to make.
And if you believe you are free to make that decision however you wish, you have not been listening to our conversations along the road.
Souls were ripped from the world, ripe and full and pulsing with essence. Scatter them like bones to a pack of dogs. Their essence will strengthen the souls of the Deerwood. Let the remains of the dead feed the survivors.
Now, I didn't do that before. No, sorry. I did do this before. I don't know why I said the opposite. I did do this option in my first playthrough. I did the whole thing of, like, the souls were scattered to everyone in the Deerwood to be strengthened. Why would I feed the lost soul's essence to the rest of the Deerwood?
To breed strength. Power is born from the mixing of essence and blood.
What Theos did cannot be undone. Thousands of lives have changed, and thousands more have ended because of his actions. But transformation gives purpose to trial.
And improvement is the goal of all Kith. Long lives, prosperous futures, stronger minds and bodies. Strengthening those who remain will help repair the damage that Theos has done to the Deerwood.
I thought you served the cause of preservation, Abaddon.
Essence cannot remain in a dead body, any more than oil in a broken jar. Even though the stolen lives cannot be preserved, their essence can be used to ensure the survival of the Deerwooden remnant. Thus, the memory and vision of the lost may live beyond them. This is the nature of preservation.
Alright, I see your reasoning there. If Warwick can accomplish this, then perhaps she deserves her victory. You make a sound point. If she is victorious, then she will prove herself most capable and most devious of the gods. Galloway teaches that one ought to celebrate the fittest in any struggle, but what good can possibly come of Warwick's plan succeeding? The bear at Galloway's side rises on its hind legs and roars. It falls back on all fours with a ground-shaking thud. Galloway points his chipped flint dagger at you.
A victory that leaves her ruler of all. No room for conflict, no struggle, not even between the gods.
Be careful what you wish for, mortal. Woodica's ways are regressive. Her laws never change, her authority never ebbs, and she never forgets a slight.
Woodica would crush the Deerwood simply out of vengeance for the rebellion against Adir, her favorite. She would stamp out Animancers, Godslayers from the Saints' War, and anyone else she viewed as heretical or dangerous.
So it's bad if she succeeds. Got it. Anyone who might have asked the wrong questions or seek answers to the same. We've posed a question or two ourselves, I think. I don't see why I should care. I'm not going to answer that. I care. Now I've got to find Theos.
And when you descend the pit to Sun in Shadow, you can count on our assistance to see you safely through. As I hope we can count on yours when you reach the bottom. There are many souls upon the Burial Isle that are sworn to serve us. They belong to you now, and they shall guide your descent.
Beware the promises of a god, Watcher. They are binding, but only in one direction. The beasts grow restless, pawing the ground and eyeing you with renewed interest. The bear sniffs at the ground to your leg. One Stalgar skulks into the circle, its amber eyes glowing. Galloway hurls the knife at your feet, sinking into its handle, and he raises his empty hand.
Hunt him, mortal. And when you stop him, let the souls he has captured feed the Deerwood.
Strengthen the souls of those who remain. Prepare them to face the challenges that will follow. Pledge that you will do this, and we will grant you a power fit for the finest warrior who ever lived.
Betray us, and my beast shall track you down. Our allegiance is not to be accepted and cast aside.
My friend, this is a most auspicious moment. The Lord of the Hunt has spoken to you without omission or riddles. Heed what he said about his beast seeking you out should you stray from the task. It is not a promise.
I would hear what the other gods have to say first.
Consider and calculate, but decide.
Galloway's hand falls, and the growing pack lunges into the circle. The vision vanishes in an instant, returning you to Ter Eron, where burning candles replace the glowing eyes of Galawain's beasts. Talk to Durance about Wotica. I'm gonna talk to Hylia. There is a achievement where you can get all the divine Father. That you pray to all, what was it? 4 of them. So I think I might get Rimagan's blessing. Bereth, I'm gonna do Bereth's quest, definitely. I think that's a thing that I have to do. I really am leaning towards Bereth a bit more. Like in the last game, in my last playthrough, like I roleplayed this kind of orphan character, like he was raised on the streets and stuff like that. So he favored Galawain a bit more. It represented his struggles. But this time around, I'm like, oh, you know, my character can see kind of the fair side of both things, and if that duality kind of speaks more to Bereth, so I think I might go with that. But yeah. Have I actually completed the quest yet? I have learned that the burial isle can be reached from Old Song. Well, yeah, I've already gone there. That's not news to me. There would, however, be a price for betrayal. So, like, no matter in any instance, you will piss off a whole bunch of people. I don't know what Rimagan wants in terms of what he wants done with the souls. I assume he just wants them destroyed. Yeah.
Yes?
I think I might talk to Hylia. Pray to Hylia. All things can be reforged. There is life and death, survival, live every note of life's song. Yeah, let's do that. Have to drink more water. So much talking. Your words seem to ring in the air, your voice rendered melodic and lilting by some unseen art. You shut your eyes as you pray. You wait in the darkness. The world around you changes. You feel sunlight bright and warm on your face. A light breeze carries music to your ears, as vivid as the sensations you feel. You somehow know that they are not real. You look around you and find yourself standing in an open-air temple built on a mountain summit. It's filled with elves, orlins, and other assorted kith. Ringing their entire scene is a fringe of trees, their verdant branches filled with birds in all different sorts of colors, shapes, and sizes. A paradise for those who would waste their lives exploring the meaningless while corrupting the meaning of the real world. Oh, to set these trees ablaze, Watcher. Everyone is singularly absorbed in a particular pursuit. An Orlin sits with a canvas, a paintbrush in his hand, and jars of green and blue and yellow pigments at his feet. An elf and an Almawa, standing to the side, are locked in conversation, their expressions dancing with delight. Still, others scribble stanzas of poetry or crude sketches on sheafs of paper, losing themselves in the delicate minutiae of lines and syllables. You feel the breeze again, and 2 elves basking in the sunlight shiver. Look at this place! All these people coming together to share their creations, and... what on earth is that painting supposed to be? The largest group gathers in the middle of the temple. They sing a lush, chaotic harmony composed of several complementary melodies. Others drift towards the singers in ones and twos as if buffeted by a gust of wind or a phrase of the song. A ripple passes through the trees. You think it's the wind, but the chirping changes to a screeching. Hundreds of birds take to the skies, all headed in one direction. Away. This is bad. Something must have spooked them, but they won't tell me what. Then again, I think I mispronounced my bird song and probably called them incontinent. The devotees glance at the trees, just barely distracted from their activities, but the wind picks up, scattering their pages of poetry and art and ripping the songs from their lips. They look skyward and you follow their gaze. A dark shape blots out the sun and you can't tell what it is, but as it unfolds and expands, it seems to fill the sky. The wind roars over the summit. Before you can flee, a shadow falls over the temple. It begins as a stain in the corner and spreads, blotting out the flagstones. It reaches the nearest kith, a black-furred Orlin. Darkness swallows her, leaving only a puff of smoke in her place. The two elves that you saw earlier, a man and a woman, flee. You get a brief image of them huddled in the shadow of a mountain. They seem to see you too, and reach out, calling silently after you. The others, however, seem frozen. As the shadow advances, they likewise vanish one by one. The driving gale scatters their ashes and the charred remains of their creations. You look up again at the source of the shadow, but the eclipsed sun forms a blinding corona around the thing. You can't make out the details. You can, however, feel heat. Restore my temple. You look down and find yourself standing next to Hylia's shrine in Ter Eberron. Your pulse still races, and your skin is damp with sweat from your strange encounter. Okay.
Yes.
So I've completed Galawain and Margaret's thing over here. I've gotten Hylia's quest, Bareth's quest, and Rumagan's.
Yes.
I guess let's go out and do those quests. Cool. This would be interesting. I tried to do the Bareth's quest and I got my ass handed to me. So, we'll see how that goes. Man, that whole thing took like 40 minutes? That's crazy. I've been talking for like 40 minutes. No wonder my mouth is dry. Oh. Oh, hello.
Stop right there.
Okay, we've stopped. But before that happens, I'm going to save, because Durance has to talk, and that means it's something... The dialogue needs to be recorded here. I know it. Durance, dialogue. I can spell it. Important. Oh.
You're in the wrong city, Inquisitor.
Oh, am I now?
Did you think you wouldn't be recognized here in your old home? I've seen your trials with my own eyes.
I have seen you light pyres with good people tied to them. People I'd known many a year. They deserve your confession.
Suros, what are you doing?
Startled, the soldier realizes you immediately and turns to face the speaker, a woman in a plain wool tunic. Fully, a head shorter than he, but somehow seeming to tower over him. Sorry. You have seen this woman's face before, but from afar, bloodied and burned as if she lay stretched across an iron wheel, and at that moment it is marked only with concern.
An assassin sent by the Inquisition, my lady, daring to approach our camp.
If she is so poor an assassin as to approach an armed guard in daylight, I should have little to fear. I would hear what this woman has to say. She stared down. Tongue-tied. She stares him down until he can no longer face her. He turns away, sour-faced, and pretends to suddenly be distracted by something far off.
Surely this is some trick of my mind. I did not expect to see you again.
Are things as desperate as that over there? I'd have never known. I hope your next assignment is more stimulating. Listening to my lecture is dull work for a spy. I hoped there might be another reason, but you are here and that is good enough on its own. Whatever your reasons, I've missed you all over these years. Having you here now at a time when I'm surrounded by strangers, it is a wonderful gift.
I would like for you to stay here in our camp as my guest.
My lady Ivara, I beg of you. This is an Inquisitor. This is a desperate attempt on your life. The only way it can succeed is if you allow it to.
This is a missionary, same as I was, taught the wrong things as I was. If I can't have faith in one woman's ability to reason once she knows the truth, what hope do we have?
My lady, she admits being a spy.
That should make her less of a threat, wouldn't you agree? I have nothing to hide. All I see here is an opportunity to persuade someone who could help us. We have many former missionaries here. They are our most loyal, our most helpful. Many have died for us. These are not people we should be turning away. And if the Inquisition wants my life, they can have it. But they know as well as I do that my cause will not die with me. Come. We have much to talk about.
That was cool. So let's do... Durance wants to talk to you. Now let's go check, see if anyone is popping on. Nah, people will be watching it after. It's all good. Alright, Durance wants to talk. Let's get near the river. How about it, Durance, huh? Let's get near the river. Let's have a nice chat.
Oh?
Let's have a nice chat.
What is it, Watcher?
Does what we learned about Wardica trouble you?
It stinks of her. It is justice, but if her greater purpose was to think Margaret would fall prey to such deceit. And Aethys. Widewind had always claimed to be invading Deerwood to free it. What if it were true? What if he had come to stop Wardica's plot before it began?
Oof, that would be rough to deal with.
Surely Aethys earned his death at Godhammer Citadel, but not for those reasons. Not to keep him silent. If such a thing has brought about this chaos.
Durance tilts his head as if listening to an inner voice, then he frowns, the frown deepening as he speaks.
Must we always be tools of gods? If Wardica and Margaret, if they are the cause of this, the Hollowborn, if the Purges were never necessary, if Aethys was fighting back.
The Purges?
We started saving the Aothasians from themselves, burning any that didn't die with their god. Heresy in Raed Ceres is one thing. Heresy here in the Deerwood comes with a more personal touch.
We started saving the Aothasians from themselves. Well done. That is one of the worst ways to self-rationalize fucking genocide. Well done. Jesus Christ. Seems just. A wounded enemy is still dangerous. Nah, I don't want to say that. So you just answered their crime with one of your own. If you fight an enemy long enough, you become them. Nah, that's lame.
As I see it, every Aothasian who still lives in the Deerwood puts the nation at risk. Is another dagger held to the throat of our faith. Root them out, burn them, or send them back to Raed Ceres to wallow in the blood of their failure.
I want to ask you about the region and its history.
If doubts and curiosity plague you.
That really... Was that it? The quest update? Trials of Durance. Maybe I pissed him off. Let's play that again. Because, like, I'm pretty sure after the talk with Wardica, you're supposed to have, a whole bunch... Like, it's supposed to advance the quest. As far as I see it. I'll quickly look it up. Pillars of Eternity... Durance. So, companion quest... you can try to convince Durance that Margaret conspired with Wardica. It doesn't really give a proper layout on how the quest should go down.
Certainly.
So I'm just gonna skip through it. Yep. There we go. Sorry about that. Again, Durance, let's get over by the river. Have a nice little chat. Huh? How's that sound?
What is it, Watcher?
Does what we learn about Wodica trouble you?
It stinks of her. It is justice, but if her greater purpose was to think Margaret would fall prey to such deceit. And Aethys. Widewin had always claimed to be invading Deerwood to free it. What if it were true? What if he had come to stop Wodica's plot before it began? Surely Aethys earned his death at Godhammer Citadel, but not for those reasons. Not to keep him silent. If such a thing has brought about this chaos, must we always be tools of gods? If Wodica and Margaret, if they are the cause of this, the Hollowborn, if the purges were never necessary, if Aethys was fighting back,
then your Godhammer didn't save the Deerwood, it doomed it. Aethys needed to be stopped, and so does Wodica. It seems that whenever I do any playthrough of Pillars, I just seem to go this completely, like, atheist route. I'm just like, fuck the gods. Would it have been better that you had been spared this knowledge?
no, I am glad to have walked this far with you, seen this truth.
Ah, truth. See? It's working. The video essay is going to be great.
Perhaps it was what I was meant to see, with a watcher's eyes. All these dances of words and intrigues, machines of men, twisted, ripping the souls of children, and by the gods, the goddess of justice. If I could end her like Aethys, Margaret burned her once. One can do so again. Wodica, she must answer to her own justice.
Justice or revenge?
Anyone with a shred of spirit seeks both justice and punishment. It burns in the heart of anyone who lives. All seek it. If the world does not balance, we all drown in the oceans. And the gods would not care. Margaret, she must be redeemed. And punishing Wodica, that will serve.
Ooh. This is a bit scary. Do we know that Margaret was not a willing accomplice? Margaret was allied with Wodica. She tried to kill all the makers of the Godhammer.
Is this some final joke at my expense? To test my faith further? And why would you think that, Watcher?
Because she didn't want anyone to know about how the Godhammer was made. No one knows how it came to be except a few among Margaret like yourself. So, like, my character is very upfront and very honest, so maybe she would say it. You said you left Asheville without telling anyone of your departure. The others who made the Godhammer, they all died, didn't they? That's what I saw, their symbols fade from your staff.
If all you have are questions, then I have enough of those. She is a bitch of a goddess, to be sure. But even a whore only goes so far in crossing those she serves.
The others who made the Godhammer, they all died, didn't they?
You answer a question with a question. Then why did I feel her disappointment at Halgot? Why were we shamed?
Because I think she tried to kill you there.
Kill me? She is a goddess. I still drink from her burning breasts, Watcher. If she wished me dead, she could trace me to my source and kill me.
In the dream of the Godhammer, your spirit looked blurred, indistinct in the light, as if it had been sheared from you. Durance stares at you, his expression frozen, but he's silent, listening. I'm not certain, it's just a feeling I have. If you had been damaged, as I saw in the Godhammer vision, she may have been able to see you as you once were. When we petitioned her, she didn't recognize you, you know it. Durance turns from you for a moment. His face twists in thought, conflicting emotions running through his features. Finally, he turns to you, his face steady.
There's no proof, Watcher. I was a fool to think you could help me see any farther than I could.
If you don't trust me, then trust your staff. Admit that the other Godhammer builders are dead. Durance turns to the staff for a moment. and you see his eyes burning, taking in the edges of the wood, the symbols inlaid there, the 11 faded circles.
They died in the blast, yes. The other 11. I was the only one to walk away. I thought we had wronged our goddess. That this was my trial, and if I could prove myself worthy of her! I should have known better. There is only one god of redemption, and I saw him ended.
As he studies the staff, you feel a wave of heat, a terrible energy rolling forth from it in waves, so much that it feels as if the god hammer itself is alive in his hands, and past it, you hear a cry, like a child being born, and your eyes feel the flash of white, then 100 imagined shades of purple and white, streaming and circling into the howling of a storm, and beneath it the grinding of ancient machines of stone and rock and metal, grinding and turning until all you feel is it's burning, sinking into the shadows of the earth beneath the ground, the only place where a spirit might find refuge. When your vision clears, you see Durance's hands clutching the staff, and his eyes are bright, burning red. Atop the staff, the flame burns cleanly, brightly. As his gaze burns, he rips his gaze away and howls a bellowing, horrid howl, like a wounded animal, and sweat pours down his brow. We can see that justice is served, to her and Wartica both.
To think I served her. I followed her. Now I shall serve no one. Woodica's lies must be answered. And now it seems I must take fire in war from a goddess's false claim as well. I still take from her strength as I did, for as long as it lasts. For I shall not cast her aside yet, until I have drained her dry and had my fill, just as she intended for me. For I have learned one of the lessons of the faithful. The faithful may wound a goddess greater than any enemy. A purification is coming, and this fire shall consume them both.
I don't know if I got the good ending to this. I feel like I've just made him into like a really, obsessed zealot. But this is Durance we're talking about, so let's just leave it like that. And we leveled! Quest completed. So what does it say? I was able to get Durance to see that Margaret had conspired with Wartica in creating the God Hammer, but that her refusing to speak with him wasn't because he had wronged her, but rather because she had intended him to die with the other God Hammer engineers, in order to keep secret her direct involvement in Aethys' destruction. Though it appears this alliance between the goddess was short-lived, it sheds new light on the Saints' War and the epidemic of Hollowborn infants that followed. Durance, for his part, has renounced his goddess and sworn revenge. As a man who's killed one god already, it would seem that he might be one of the only people alive who could make good on his threat. Have I done it good? I don't know. Let's just go with that. And we've got some leveling to do. I think this is the max level, actually. Oh, no. I can't get... no. Oh, man. Oh, that blows. What am I supposed to put it in? Let's do survival. That. And we're good. Defensive mind web, huh? Huh. Let's do that. Oh, I've got a feat I have to pick. I feel like that might be a good thing for me. I'm just going for... oh, wait. Primal Bane, Wilder Hunter. Yeah, I think I'll just do that. So we finally did it, everyone. We've solved Durance's quest. Law 16, that sounds pretty good. Ooh. Piercing sigil, huh? The wizard evokes the sigil of the famed Valian wizard Minoletta. When he or she is struck with melee, the siege is leaving them stunned. Nah, it's not good. Wilting Wind. Anyone in the area and leaving him weakened. That's pretty good. I think I might go for that. I think I might do bonus second level. Okay, let's do Durance. Ah, he doesn't have enough. There we go. Aggrandizing Radiance. I don't want that one. Nah, that doesn't seem too good. Defensive, hold the line. Let's do something in this. Body control. Oh, there's not much here. Fast runner, deep pockets, sky on flame. That makes sense. Let's do that. I wonder if I've reached max level now. I have. It's max level.
Yes.
If I ever need to retrain, if I need to get better stuff, then there's that. Oops, sorry. Wow, okay, so, I guess we begin with the other quests. So we got Into the White Void. In Noonfrost, Rumagon's Temple, and also on the Frostume image must be here. When I find it, I can use the shard to close it. Let's do that. So, I think there's a lot of good stuff with Durance's quest in that. And in the breakdown I'm doing, I do cover Durance. He's one of 2 characters I cover, and I think I really
Zawa
like.
is ready.
I was writing the quest, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I've done right here and everything. I was kind of felt like I was a bit off with recording some of it, like writing some of it. And I'm like, am I on the right path here and all this sort of stuff? Am I telling the right thing that I want to do with this character and stuff? And I think I have gotten to a point where I can safely say, yes, I actually have done the right thing. I'm tapping into something quite good with what Durance's character kind of gets across and stuff like that. Definitely when it comes to his pursuit of the truth. That's the main thing throughout this entire breakdown that I'm doing for this game, is some sort of tapping into truth, a discovery of truth of some kind. So let's get our asses over there and get this done with. I don't know what Rimagan would want. Exactly. I'm pretty sure it would be just destroy all the souls. Because that's he's all about he's the god of entropy, so of course he would have that. So, and I'm pretty sure Hylia was like, "Oh, put them into the souls of all the Hollowborn," which is like the really goody ending. And apparently, if you piss her off in the next game, she shits on your ship. So that's that to consider. I'm pretty sure I've killed so many people in this place. I'm just going to walk through here.
On the bright side,
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, Zawa's here.
too numb to feel cold.
Into the fray!
Time to get into the fight. Zawa is ready. Yeah, Zawa, go over there. It's not one. Nah, I already got that going. Oh no, they confused Zawa.
right?
I have.
Well then. Yes.
Need. That's it.
Kick. Man, Sour just kicks so much ass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Certainly.
Let's get ourselves into here. Alright, so these guys. Seal the Frostume breach. Ugh, this is gonna end badly. At least have it there. Good. Plug the hole with Rumagan's shard. So, I think I did stream this many weeks ago. Noonfrost is like a portal into Rumagan's realm. And it's open. They're like, hey, we're gonna keep it open because we like Rumagan and stuff. So yeah, I'm just gonna close it. The shard fits perfectly and it settles into place. The cold air around the altar dissipates. Similarly, the portal before you seems to thicken and the mysterious seepage tapers off. Glassval. No! What have you done? It's good. We'll make you suffer for this, human, and you've got nothing to fear from death. Alright, cool. Okay, let's get some bonus stuff going. Ooh, what happened to us? We're all confused. Only Haravius survived it.
Need something?
Are we back in action yet? Okay. No, alright, I'm up. Cool. Durance is still confused. Ooh, that hit Durance. That was bad. Caused him to explode, Jesus.
Following your lead.
What prevents confusion? Sickened, weakened. Confused, and there we go. There we go, that helps.
Yeah.
Oh, whew. How much? 51 slash damage. That's incredible. Ooh, that sounded a little bit too suggestive there. I think that guy enjoyed it just a little bit too much. The Frostume breach lies dormant, now nothing more than a perfect, smooth wall of ice. I think I avoided doing this quest previously because I didn't want to kill a whole... Because I managed to get into here and I wasn't, like, detected because I was a rogue. So, like, I really didn't want to piss off the people and, like, attack me. But I didn't know that, like, you know, apparently people like it. They don't like the Pale Elves here, so... Fair enough. Alright, let's get back to Rumagan and be like, your dog did that thing for you. Holy crap, they're gonna be 31 tomorrow. Whew. That's one thing I'm not used to in Melbourne so much is the sort of weather. It's really up and down. So. Alright, old songs pass. So that's the next quest we've got to do. We got to deal with the dragon. But I think I'll do one thing at a time. I don't want to try and. Oh, actually, it would make a bit of sense if I just went to old songs past right now. So I'm just gonna save here. Alright. Dealing with Skydragon. I don't know how tough this fight's gonna be, because in the last game I actually completely went around the dragon and was like, don't worry, you're like all about, because the a bit of a thing with this quest is the fact that the dragon is actually in Hylia's temple because she's nursing young. So I was a bit like, hey, you know, I don't want to ruin this for you. So yeah. Sorry, one moment. Okay, so we just got to get to Northworld Cave, Old Songs Pass. Wait. Old Songs Pass. The Nest. Ah, yeah, that's it. That's where I want to be. Oh, yeah, this has been ages ago. This is where we do Sagani's quest, I believe. That was a good quest. Again, her quest is all about seeking truth as well, so that was pretty interesting. A winding stair hugs the cliffside, providing an impressive view as you work your way higher and higher. Not too far along the path, however, you find your progress interrupted. A large boulder appears to have fallen onto the road from somewhere up above, and it now sits squarely in your path. Push the boulder away, use a hammer and chisel to clear the way. Let's do that. Chiseling away at the boulder proves a slow and wearying endeavor, especially when several sections of the boulder prove too hard to carve through, forcing you to aim elsewhere. After a long while, your efforts pay off, and the section of the rubble splits away. You hear echoing clatter of the rocks tumbling down the cliff, and the sound seems to stir something overhead. A shadow crosses the path, quick as lightning, and vanishes before you can catch a glimpse of what has cast it. Before you do, you see rapidly growing silhouettes of small rocks flung down from above. Scrambling to action, the party ducks under the small rocky protrusion along the cliff face, but Jazera stumbles and is left for short of shelter and gets fucked up. Battered and bruised, Jazera leaps the final distance to safety. After a short while, the thundering rumble of falling stones fades away. Your ordeal's past. You continue your climb and your rest on your journey proceeds without incident. At last, you find yourself at the base of the final twisting steps of the nest, above which you can see the pillars of Hylia's nest. Oh, Zao, you leveled! Hell yeah. Nah, let's just do survival. We have to get you one of these. Alright. That might be pretty good. These sort of things are not too great. Body control, maybe? That seems like something that would be quite in his thing, so I think let's just do that. I can't be bothered.
Oh?
Oh, cool. So we have some stuff to look at shortly?
Certainly.
Grim. There's the Skydragon.
Sweet mother of Gallowayne! That's an impressive beast! Think we can slay it?
As you approach the summit of the mountain, a gust of wind stirs the air. You hear a noise like the snapping of sails, and the sky is briefly blotted out. A dragon lands before you, shaking the ground beneath your feet. It draws itself up on its full height and spreads its wings, barring your passage. Its neck, its back, and the ridge of its spine are covered in magnificent plumage. It hisses at you, and while the sound is unlike any language you've ever heard, the beast's meaning is utterly clear.
Vermin invading my nest, threatening my hatchling. You shall feed my young.
You have young here?
I will protect my last hatchling to the death, and that death will be yours, rodent.
Hylia is the goddess of motherhood, actually.
And of the sky and all winged creatures. Even my kind know of her.
Then you should... Is that why you came here?
I came to care for my remaining hatchling. My kind requires territory. Few places are safe for our young. This is a lesson that cost me the rest of my brood.
Then you should stay. Your raising your offspring would honor Hylia. I did this last time. And I do want to do something a little bit different. You and your offspring will kill many if you stay. You have to leave. Here we go. Oh, I should have rested. Let's see how this goes. Buff up, everyone. Oh, they're all coming in. Where'd the dragon go? She just fucking flew up into the air. Oh, she's over there now. Let's get that going.
Spot on.
Okay. Oh, we're all terrified apparently, which, I don't know, makes sense. Let's get ourselves buffed up on that. Oh. Time to all fan out. Oh, we're all stunned.
Following your...
I wonder if Firebug will do much. Oh, that's a good spell.
How may I help?
Ice. What the hell? The dragon is almost dead! What did so much damage? What killed it so much? I guess it's just Zawa. Look at this. Zawa 20, 22, Zera hits for 20, Zawa hits for 20. Well, that was a very short sort of fight. I was anticipating a bit more, but anyway. Dragon meat. Yum yum.
Understood.
Hmm?
And I know she keeps treasure, because actually she keeps one of the only copies of a Grimoire. Yeah, that's it. It has a very rare spell in it, I believe. Yeah, it's the only one that contains Gaze of the... No, actually, no. I have Gaze of the Ardragon. I think in the last game it was like that. What is this? Gul'dan Sunther. Attacks can stun on crits. And +1 to might. It's pretty good.
Oh?
Alright, well, I guess that's free now. And this time round, the worshippers of Hylia can return to the temple. So that'll be interesting. So I've done both of those now. I'll go back to see Hylia and be like, oh hey, yeah, it's gone alright and everything, you know. So I think, since no one's on the stream, I might just finish it at 11. I'll talk to Hylia and Rimagond, and then I'll just probably call it for the evening. As I've mentioned before in my streams, I stay on a bit longer if people are chatting and stuff like that. But if there's no one on, I'm just like, I'll do something else. But good news, I did manage to get Twitch working. So, you know, there's actually a test video of mine up on my Twitch channel of me testing, being like, hey, can you hear the stream and stuff like that? So that'll be interesting. All right, so here's Hylia. Pray to Hylia. Whistle to the bird. You whistle to the first tune that pops into your head. The sparrow blinks its beady eyes and hops closer along the branch. It bobs its tiny head and it opens its beak, and the rich trilling melody that spills forth is the song of a chorus of birds. A massive flock descends with a thundering of wings and whooping and screeching and chirping calls. They fill the boughs of the trees with the thousands of birds of every shape and size and colour nestling next to one another. Birds from every corner of the world. Look, I see some Rawatai razorbills. A breeze ripples through the air, the limbs sway and creaking with a strange, gentle rhythm. A few hundred of the birds flit from their branches, forming a brilliantly variegated flock in front of the tree. As they meet and swoop in unison, you catch a glimpse of someone looking back at you, cloaked by the flurry of feathers. Look there, the mantle of feathers. We are in the court of birds. And there stands the Sky Mother.
You journeyed to my temple and rid it of the dragon. Now my faithful may return, singing their joy to the skies and praising me through their creation.
Lavish creation and celebration. I'm just glad I served you in this. Good, now I was hoping to ask for a favor.
A favor for a favor, is that it? Not an unwelcome suggestion, so long as we share one purpose.
I already know Theosix Oxenon has gone to Sun and Shadow to strengthen Wartica with thousands of souls. The birds return to the tree and nestle among their peers. The breeze ripples through the branches again, carrying the goddess's voice.
Then you have earned the favor of another. But stopping Theos will not heal the Deerwood. You must guide the trapped souls back to the bodies they were stolen from. Hollow-born children whose eyes have never seen the sun.
You could restore them, give their families hymns of joys after years of lament. Peace and restoration give purpose to suffering. There is no meaning, no redemption in pain if that does not lead to fulfillment. Symmetry demands that great rejoicing follows suffering such as this. I'm not sure that it's possible to truly undo the harm Theos has caused. Thank you, I will continue Perhaps the years cannot be forgotten, and for some, perhaps it is already too late. But if you could restore even one soul, kindle one spark of life, raise one voice in joy, it would be all worth it. There's another side to this. You've seen the consequences of a soul disjointed from its own cycle. Could these children ever truly return? Perhaps it would be better to allow these souls to find new lives. How can they continue to another when they have not fully lived this life? To pass them along to another is now cutting a stanza from a poem, a verse from a song. Thank you, Hylia. I will continue to Sun and Shadow.
When you reach the Burial Isle, you will find souls there that I have granted reprieve for their sins. I give these to you, for only they can bear you to safety on your journey down. And when you face Theos and the rotting fruits of his endeavors, remember the conversation we have had. In that moment, you will have power rivaling a god's. And after it, you will live in the world that you have chosen. Choose Restoration, Watcher. Return the souls to the bodies they were stolen from. Swear to me that you will do this, and I shall give you power to make even Woodica quake. I can be merciful and terrible, Watcher.
I would hear what the other gods have to say first. Hear then, and choose. All of the gods spread their all of the birds spread their wings and take flight. As they flock and swarm around you, you gain glimpse somewhat. You gain again. You will gain words. You again glimpse someone watching you from within the maelstrom of feathers. Her glance is full of compassion and hope. The birds rise towards the sun. They blot it out, reminding you for an instant of a dragon and a shadow. But when your vision clears again, you are standing in Ter Evron. Alright, let's go talk to old Rimagandi. How's it going, man? You pray again, and the vision of the white plain emerges. The driving wind returns in a chaos of whirling snow. Something moves at the center of the blizzard, plodding but relentless. As the snowstorm gets closer, you see an aurochs, and as colossal and slow as a glacier. Its shaggy white hair is matted with frost, but beneath it, ribs like a ship's frame protrude. The beast of winter. I've seen its shape prowling the walls of many an ancient ruin. A man, emaciated and most naked, huddles at the beast's legs. His body is scored with lash marks, and his nose and ears have been carved from his face. His black eyes pierce the white out. By the wheel, it's Skane. The aurochs stops and stands before you, enveloping you in the violent blizzard that surrounds you. Though its mouth does not move, the beast speaks in a deep, thunderous voice.
A clan of Glamfelin ventured from the white that wends to find the crack in the ice. When you sealed it, you damned their souls to a slow weathering here, one they had sought to escape.
Their recklessness endangered the rest of Oldsong.
For each there is a season, Watcher. Winter's shroud covers all things in its time. The heat and energy of life dissipates, and untethered essence fades into chaos. But entropy is a chisel of ice and a hammer of wind. It is not for mortals to wield these tools.
The world shudders beneath you, and a great crack echoes across the white expanse. Ice splits at your feet, waves lapping through the rift. Oh, Andra. I know I didn't talk to Andra last time. A low, melancholy voice rises from the depths.
I did not expect we would meet again so soon. You destroyed the army that threatened your life.
I didn't think we would either, but I'm told I need your help.
What is it you seek?
Theos Ex Arcanon, the man responsible for my current plight.
Yet there is a greater plot at work here, Watcher. Theos acts not for himself. He is the Burned Queen's quiet slave. a master of secrets and schemes.
Theos is a winter gale, unseen by the world even while he carves and shapes it. Woodica directs him, sending him to wipe her enemies from Aora.
And animancy as well. He would see those secrets lost, the knowledge forgotten.
And he would see his mistress grow fat on the essence of thousands. For her, he has harvested the unborn souls of the Deerwood.
Why does Theos hate animancy?
He believes that some knowledge is best lost to mortals.
I hope you're not favoring Theos, Andra.
More importantly, Woodica despises it, and he yields to the will of the exiled queen in all things.
I realize his methods have been questionable, but mightn't he be right? What now?
Theos has removed these souls from the cycle. They are ice melting in the sun. Let them fade.
Oof, yeah, I thought so. I knew he was going to say that.
Let them forget this world and be forgotten by it.
Of course, Andra.
Take the souls she so desires and grind them into dust. Let her see her careful schemes thoroughly ruined.
Okay, I do side with Skane a little bit in that. Like, getting rid of the souls would make sure that she can't actually do anything with them. So, fair enough, I get it, Ground to dust, is it? This skulking thing at least is honest. I like not the sound of this. For several seconds, the waves wash quietly against the ice, and the Aurochs stands silently amidst the churning flurries.
It is the destiny of all things to crumble and join the chaos that follows this world. Some seek it willingly, as you have seen.
To mingle, roiled and stirred by the tides of the universe. It is not an unkind fate.
Why do you oppose Woodica?
She desires to order chaos and shackle the agents of change in the world. Under her, all things would remain static and frozen according to her laws.
Even now, she only barely keeps the pact of the gods to leave the affairs of Kith in mortal hands. She moves in Theos where she cannot move directly.
Well, hey, Novum, how you doing? Yeah, they did, definitely. I can hear that. I don't know who it is, but yeah.
And so we call on you to do the same. Such are the schemes of the queen that was.
You would give these souls the very fate you sought to deny the Glamfellan pilgrims.
I am the beast of winter. I neither speed nor alter my path for the whims and desires of Kith. I take souls at the time of my choosing, be it mote by mote or in a sudden tempest of chaos.
These souls, they have already forgotten their place in this world. They have been lost to existence. Let them be memorialized and mourned for an age, and then forgotten entirely.
I'll seek Theos and Sun and Shadow.
When you reach the Burial Isle, we will send lost souls to guide you through the pit. This is our gift to you. What you do after you face Theos will be your choice, but we would have you set the stolen essence adrift.
And whether you would heed us or no, understand that our end comes to all things eventually. Help us achieve it, and we shall reward you now with a power to rival Theos's.
But do not choose lightly. We forget nothing, least of all a betrayal.
I would hear what the other gods have to say first.
Do not wait forever. We wait, but Theos does not.
Rimagand appears in the distance, trudging away from you, and the whiteout follows him. As the vision of snow fades, it leaves in its wake the flagstones of Ter Evron.
Oh?
Okay, so I guess the next quest to do is what's the face? I doubt it. But I reckon a lot of games I've always challenged to say like, oh man, we have like, you know, pages upon pages of dialogue and all this sort of stuff, and I don't know, it kind of seems to be a weird flex. Like, oh my god, we're in a video game that has the most text. I'm like, okay.
Certainly.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's with us, and I've done his quest, and yeah, I managed to convince him to, I managed to convince him that he needs to seek revenge. Yes, the final stretch. I'm gonna do Servant of Death now. I didn't do this quest before because I was like really scared of like... I was really scared of like pissing off everyone, but my character seems to have a knack for it, so I'm just gonna roll with it. Yeah, what do I get? Boots. Patchwork boots. Exalted hands. Foe target. That's cool, I guess.
Oh.
So I know one of them is in here. So I'm just gonna do a quick save. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do this time around in terms of what I'll do with the souls. Yeah, that was really amazing. Like, I really felt. I think his quest is really something I am going to really hone in on a lot near the end of the breakdown, just talking about how, like, you know, it's, for him, like, the breakdown of his quest is, like, it's not really like you lead someone to a conclusion and it's like, oh, even if, like, with Eder, like, it's like, you give him, like, this, like, inconvenient truth, and he's like, oh, man, I really have to deal with this, you know? Kana, the same deal of, like, what? This sacred tablet warden is not here anymore and broken apart and everything. And it's an inconvenient truth. But for Durance, it's like, you help him, like, bust out of this self-delusion that he has, and it's absolutely, like, you feel like you're actually doing something bad, but this is his journey. It's absolutely amazing. Let's do Servant of Death. Alright, let's get into it. You are welcome to the... Is it this person? Yeah, welcome to the Golden Grove, traveler.
Many blessings, traveler.
So... I feel like the narrative structure ends on an odd, low-key way. Maybe I'm so used to games and movies ending on an epic matter, but POE went over some fringe forest and ruins. I think that's a valid point. I mean, I bring up that a little bit in the breakdown as well, about how, like, you know, a lot of traditional medieval fantasies have it start off, you're like, oh, you're the chosen one, or like, oh, you kind of have this very lofty sort of thing, and like, you become a watcher, obviously, and that's the main thing of your character, but at the end of it, like, you're not the most important thing, you're just one of many watchers, you know? Who leads your order? Irona leads us. Sometimes she travels to Elmshire to renew her strength, however. She's there now with some of her closest followers, in fact. Irona is a mighty elm among us. She's lived for generations. There are none who understand the world as such as she, and we are fortunate to have her wisdom to answer our questions. I must go. Okay.
Oh.
I need to go see Ethok Knoll. I'm pretty sure Ethok Knoll is in here. Alright, let's head in here. Yeah, so having this, doing the option you mentioned, actually did help, yeah. Appreciate the souls saved you. Yeah. Yeah, it did help a lot. So I'm gonna find Ethok Knoll. Is it this guy in here at the sacrificial chamber? I think it is. Yeah, I really did like White March Part 2. In the previous 2 streams, I think, I covered it. I'm really appreciative of just everything they did. It was so well done. Like, I'm really just not disappointed with anything that happened. Oh, hello. Wait, what are you talking about? Souls that saved you. Saved me from what? What are you referring to? Because I survived. I stayed behind. You know, when they're like, oh, you gotta strike the crystal. And they're like, oh, who do you want to stay behind? I picked myself. Because I was like, hey, like, I'm the one that brought everyone into this mess. I'm not gonna, like, just go, by the way, so-and-so, you're gonna have to stay here and die, basically. So I chose myself. And what happened was, apparently I pulled out, sorry, no. You gave an exact while the underground collapse, you stay behind it, swim safe, but you'll die without the source that left you out. So this is what happened for me, Novum. So I chose to stay behind, but what happened was, I had a diving helmet from, like, some random quest in White March, and I was smacking the throwing the hammer against the crystal, and I start to drown, and then my character goes, you pull out your diving helmet and slip it on, and then you don't drown, and you safely, like, swim up to the surface, punch through the ice, and that's it. That's what happened for me. I just gotta find this Ethok Knoll. Is there any hint? It will no doubt be nearby. So that's how I survived. So okay, so if I didn't have the diving helmet, and I did that, the souls would lift me out of there.
Now here's something.
Where the fuck is Ethok Knoll? Is it a guy? Is it a place? Talon, will you know about Ethok Knoll? Oh. All of the Amanfather have called upon the Ethok Knoll for war paint at some point. Be welcome, Estremor. Tell me about the Ethok Knoll. Our order has thrived for generations. We came to the Twin Elms, our rights fed the lands of the Eastern Mountains. Now we share the blood of it for Glanfath. So, I think I'm in Ethok Knoll now. But I gotta find someone who, like, lives forever, basically, as a result of this. But I'm wondering who that is. Is it Archdruid? Hail, Estremor. I can see this man's scent. Death oozes and bubbles from his pores. It reminds me of the bodies of the charnel grounds.
No one comes to Blood Sands without a purpose. What is yours?
Hey, is that Raiden? That's Raiden's voice. So the 3 ways to survive that I know without sacrificing a companion are the diving helmet, the souls, and the devil of Karok. Does the devil of Karok come back? Because obviously she doesn't drown. So, or is it like she just kind of stays there, basically? Birth bleeds, it's time you paid your dues. I'm just gonna save before any of this happens. Barath believes it's time you paid your dues. Then he can descend from his mighty pantheon and tell me himself. Actually, that's why I'm here.
Since when do the gods send mortals to collect? You don't exactly look like the Pallid Knight. This is the trouble with deities. They meddle in a world that they don't even inhabit. I hope they promised you something better for your next life.
There has to be a better way of doing this. This is why I didn't do the quest last time, because I'm like, whoops! Let's see. Oh yeah, I reached max level, by the way, with most of my characters now, Novum. Let's get a bouncing thing. I wonder if I can actually walk out of here and not be hurt by anyone else. That'll be interesting.
Zawa is ready.
Linguaf's shadow thing. I don't think I have that one yet, but I did get a Will Breaker, I think it's called. I'll have a look in the Will Breaker. Here we go. I have to look at that a bit later. I can't do that while I'm in combat. Let him have the Earth Blight. He needs it.
Yeah? Die already!
There we go.
Lava beyond sea.
What? You? Go away. Gibbed. Excellent.
Zawa is ready. Zawa is ready.
I'll check if he has Ninguafs. I'm not sure anymore. So, it's obviously a highest level spell, or... I've got Killing Bolt, not Shadow Flame. It's an 8th level spell. See if I have it in here. No, I don't seem to have it. Ninegaf's Freezing Pillar. Oh yeah, I defeated Consorhort, by the way. That was one of the hardest fights I've ever had to do in Pillars of Eternity 1. That was crazy. Seventh, is it? Okay. I guess I just haven't found it yet. Yeah, it's only just Killing Bolt that I've found so far. I'll quickly check the wiki. See where it's located. Nina, Goth, Shadow Flame. Here we go. Grimoire of the Tides, obtained in the Abbey of the Fallen Moon from a locked chest near the main entrance. Found in a snowbank just north of Galvino's cabin in Durgan's Battery. Scouting motors required to discover the Grimoire. I think we did find it. We found that thing you were talking about, Novum, and it didn't have it. Grimoire of the Tides, do I have that? I must have it somewhere in here. Dwarven Tome. Nope. not weathered. No, definitely not a weathered one. Warlock's Codex. Definitely not in there. It's a 7th level spell, so that's one thing we'll definitely be able to keep an eye out for. Glass Vials. Oh, that's pretty good. Got some good spells in there. Pale Elf, Pale Elf, Pale Elf, Pale Elf. I don't think I sold any of the on-dry ones. Warlock, Leaden Key, Pale Elf, Pale Elf, Pale Elf, Battle Mage. No, it just doesn't really look like I have it. Not just the Killing Bolt. The Killing Bolt is still pretty good. That's pretty amazing. I got the Iron Clasped, so that's pretty cool. Got the Consort's Crushing Doom. Search function for what exactly? Oh, in here? Nah, it doesn't. Number 2 does, though.
Oh?
Okay. Well, I'm already fucking killing a bunch of these dudes. I might as well just steal from them. Ah, they're from Ishamadal. Ooh. Purgatory, huh?
Certainly.
There are so many unique sabers in Pillars 1.
Now here's something.
Nice and quiet.
Blood Testament. Usable only by monk, 2% raw damage per wound. That's pretty good. Ah, that's looking too good. But I will give you those gloves, mister. Yeah, I don't know why I don't have that particular item. The particular spell, sorry. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Let's see if I can get out of here without fucking killing a whole bunch of people. I would really like that. I don't want to stop kill. Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright. Here I go. Killing again. Oof. Whoa, that was a... I pierced and I killed the guy behind me.
I have them!
You do have them. Well done.
Certainly.
7 fireballs.
Aye?
I guess I do, yeah.
Hmm?
To be perfectly honest, I have not used fireball that much as my spells in this. I think it's because I have a very melee-heavy party, so I've been really avoiding it. I've been using more the bouncing missile thing.
That's it!
Keep moving, keep moving. Oh, I'm gonna kill all the people on the exit as well.
Sharp eyes and keen ears.
Please don't kill anyone. Oh no. Can I make my party invisible?
Yeah.
Nope.
Aye?
Fine, I don't want to do this. Ooh, that's a lot of them. Alright. Alright. Let's do Return of the Storm. Actually, no, I want to do Return of the Storm. Firebug is really good. Let's do that. Typical blessing. Hey, come on. There we go.
Beyond sea.
I don't think I have a potion of invisibility anywhere. Let's get something cool to go off in here. Wow, that... How much damage did that do? Does it say? Because that... I think that killed like 2 people. 2 hit, 1 crit.
Hmm?
Sounds good. Oh yeah, that's right. You recently finished a mod
Certainly.
for PoE 2. I remember now, yeah. Alright. The least amount of people died. I like it. Alright, no one else is attacking me. That's all good. Now I'm gonna go to Elm Shore. So let's do that. Yeah, I didn't really pay attention to Valhalla. To be perfectly honest, after I've heard about what Ubisoft has been kind of been allowing to happen at their company, I've kind of just been like, I don't really feel comfortable supporting this. But that's just me. Everyone else is allowed to enjoy their games and stuff. That's totally fine. I also find that a lot of the games they make, it's really just getting a little bit cookie cutter now. It's just like, let's make the same game over and over again and all that sort of shit. I'm just kind of over it. I just really want to start playing like really different games. I think it was really when like I stopped playing World of Warcraft where I kind of stepped back and noticed how like, man, like all these companies just make the same game over and over again. And it was just a little bit like, I don't know. That's just my opinion of it, and I know I'm quite pessimistic, so don't take what I say as what you should do or anything. It's just, I guess I'm just too jaded. Ah, yes, I remember this happening before. I'm aware. I'm aware of that.
Yes?
Oh shit, I need to put this on. Let's do a little bit of a cheeky thing. Yeah, I'm aware of that as well. It's just... I think it's also, it is just to do with like video games themselves. It's just... I don't know, it's... There's a lot of things that just kind of unnerve me with a lot of video game, like AAA video games lately, so I'm just like, can't be fucking real. Nah, just get your bow out, screw this. Now I know I'm not morally responsible. Come on.
Yes.
The fight has ended. Can we just... I just want to loot the corpses. Is there something nearby? There we go.
Certainly.
Oh, okay, there's a ring light there. Well, actually, to be perfectly fair, any laptop company that they make, any laptop that you make is made from this particular type of metal that's harvested in the middle of Africa, I believe. And the process of actually obtaining this metal causes, because apparently once you take up this metal and it's exposed to air, it causes the soil to like get severely poisoned, and it fucks up their the ecosystem there and stuff. But we need that metal to make fucking laptops. I can't remember the name of the metal now. Philosophy Tube mentioned it once, and I looked it up, and I knew about it back then. But that's the thing, is like, you know, you never know. Can you please exit combat? Thank you. Okay. Oh, and Khan has been turned. Again, put that stupid thing up.
Consider it. That didn't work. Need to try something else.
There we go. I kind of agree with you half on what you said last about how, you know, there's no point in being a vegetarian because it doesn't stop animals from being slaughtered. 100% true. Unless you actually are an activist and you try and actually sway the minds of other people to be like, hey, you know, this and that. But I find that the activism of, you know, vegetarians or vegans or anything like that. I remember in Perth, before I left, there was a group that did something where they went to all these like really fancy restaurants in the middle of the city, and they barged into places and like, you know, put red paint on people and graffitied the places and shit. And like, I instantly was like, that's not appropriate. You know, that's making people feel bad for doing that sort of thing is not going to teach them like, oh, maybe I'm supposed to feel bad. And I think that's it is a severe disconnect between activists and stuff as to what they actually want to achieve in the world. You know, they want to try and achieve change and teach people like, you know, you should feel bad about this sort of thing because X, Y, Z. And I don't think that's really the right way to go about it. No, I realize the Twitter handle obscures the portraits, but understandably at this point, this game's almost done. Yeah, I'm not changing my party again. That's why I've kind of been like, I'm not too concerned with the thing covering it too much. So, yeah. But yeah, I find that some ways that activists decide to try and achieve change in this world is, it's noble to admit, like, you know, you're trying to do something. I mean, some people just sit around doing nothing. But sometimes the way that it's done is ultimately it does nothing. So it just pisses off a bunch of people and gives bad optics. Unfortunately. But in terms of like being a vegetarian, like, because I'm a vegetarian because I don't. It's not because, oh, you know, poor animals. It's just like I feel guilty. You know, like I think about like, not the animals being slaughtered. I mean, that is sad. But what I'm more get concerned about is the stuff of like, you know, I eat a beef burger or something. I'm like, fuck. The amount, like, it just feels like this could have gone to someone else. This food could have gone to someone else. Like the amount of grain and water that is used to feed these animals could have gone to someone else, and I just feel bad. There's nothing really that, you know, thinking, oh, I'm gonna make a difference today by not eating McDonald's or anything, but still. Yeah, exactly. There's also a lot of things involved into how people want to, do a little something to try and feel better about the world they live in. And for example, like, someone said to me once, I said to someone like, oh yeah, global warming, that sucks, right? And the guy said to me, oh, you could make a difference. I'm like, well, how's that? And he said, ride to work. And I'm like, I can't ride to work. He's like, why not? And I'm like, because it would take 2 hours for me to ride to work every day. And he's like, oh, doesn't matter. You just get fit. I'm like, no, I can't. Like, I physically cannot wake up at 4 a.m. just to ride to work. Like, I have a kid, and like, it just doesn't work out and stuff. So, as I mentioned to someone at work, because they hassled me about my vegetarianism, they're like, oh, why do you bother doing it? And I'm like, because it just makes me feel just a little bit better,
Following your lead.
Yeah.
I miss having daily salads every day in Europe. Here the options are so limited as an alternative. Just papaya salad is the only time. That's the thing as well. Like, here in Melbourne, I think it is because of the, the fact that a lot of people in Melbourne are a bit more lefty. A lot of places are like, strictly vegan restaurants. A lot of vegetarian options, a lot of delis and stuff like that. So it's actually been pretty easy. Back in Perth, though, it was extremely hard. But I wasn't even really a full vegetarian then, so it wasn't that much of a big deal. But when I came over to Melbourne, I had not eaten meat for a couple months, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do a whole year of this. There's actually tomorrow, officially, in 20 minutes, I can officially start eating meat again, because it'll be a full year of not eating meat.
How bad?
Following your lead.
The guilt thing to me is that it gives the people the actual responsible for the issues like hypocrisy. It's your fault that you have to participate in society. That's fair enough. But it's not like the vegetarianism thing is not just a whole thing of it's a political opinion thing. It doesn't need to be political anyway. That's I don't know, a bit moot to me. But to be perfectly honest, as soon as I started eating less meat in my diet, I've noticed that. Look, I've been in lockdown for like since July, and I've been vegetarian all the way throughout. And I think that's one of the only things that's helped me not balloon in weight. Like my shirts are a little bit tight on me now and stuff, but I think being a vegetarian has helped me not gain as much weight. So there's that. That's one reason why I do it. I do find that my energy levels are a lot better from eating meat, not eating meat.
Certainly.
Stuff like that. And that's just a personal thing. I'm not saying as an anecdotal thing of, oh look, it's so much better for you. I would never advocate that because I'm not an expert in this shit. It's just what I personally have gone through is that when I've switched to being a bit more of I'm not a vegan, it's just very vegetarian. I still have eggs, I still have milk. But just eating less meat, for me, has given me more energy. Like, I don't feel burnt out at the end of the day. All this other stuff. So I gotta look for this chick. I think it's a chick or a guy. Yeah, I think you touch on something there. Like, people shouldn't be doing certain things because they feel bad because of the situation that they're in. Because ultimately, you can't change it, and it's kind of a bit of a self-flagellation a little bit. Because it's like, you feel bad that you exist in this sort of in this system, so you have to deprive yourself of it to go, no, I'm not a part of it, you know. But ultimately, like, you're one of maybe 1 in a million people that are actually thinking of doing it. So I can see where you're coming from there. Still can't find her. She's not at the Adra Arch. That was for Sagani's quest. What about over here, the Adra Pillars? There's all these dead bodies around. I wonder what that's all about. Another one over here somewhere. Is it here? Is this where she is?
What have we here?
Oh, hello there. Hope we find her soon. Oh shit, how's this person doing? You alright, man? Please, traveler. He reaches out, arduously extending his hand to you. What happened? Forgetful. So careless. Cuts on my knuckles from this morning's practice. Stelgars, they smelled the blood on me. They thought they found their next meal. They were almost correct. On a sigh, I know you are known to us, Watcher. We know you have treated others honestly, fairly, and I have need of something so trustworthy to finish my mission. Oh. I'm not going to lie, your wounds look too severe to be helped. Oh no, I won't do that. I have borne upon my flesh countless injuries, and I know this time I will not recover. The long walk of my life concludes here, but my soul is prepared. This must be delivered to my order. Take it. It needs to be carried to the celestial sapling. Give this to my brothers. They will reward you. Do not open it. The contents for my brothers only. If the seal is broken, they will... Oh. Well, that's that then. Examine the scroll case. What? If the seal is broken, they will. Open the scroll case. Rejoice, Seekers. The judicious application of pain has loosened the tongue of our informant. The artifact we seek has recently been moved to Elm's Reach. We should be secured in a residence near the entrance of the settlement. The informant suggested it is likely stashed away under the floor. We have endured much in our pursuit in this hallowed relic. Soon our efforts will come to fruition. The Council of Arch Martyrs awaits your triumphant return. Do not fail us. Sorry, dude. Okay, so what if... I think it's good to remember that the system that needs to be more ethical, not the individual. You know, other issues that the guilt angle doesn't work for addressing the problem. Yeah, 100%. But in a system where innately people are quite powerless to do anything, I mean, like, without organizing, without kind of because that's another thing as well. Like, a lot of people, especially in Australia, obviously in America as well, is that you come across people all the time that don't believe in a lot of the things that are happening. You say, like, hey, you know, meat industry is kind of killing the planet a little bit. People are like, yeah, no, that's just lies from the lefty media to tell you like you should feel bad for eating meat, but it's put on this earth for us to eat meat. It even says it in the Bible, so we got to do it. And it's like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, a lot of people just feel like, what's the point? So they have to find a way to resolve of working in that system, and one thing is to kind of put it on yourself. And yeah, it's sad, and it shouldn't be like that, but that's the reality of things. If you want to address a societal problem like this, the solution will be economic, not ethical. Yeah, that's true. The way to address the problem is to provide a superior alternative. It's not easy. Yep. In the vegetarian debate, the best way to address the issue is lab-grown alternatives, if those are developed. Yep, there's that. There's also mushroom meat. Mushroom meat is amazing. Like, obviously it's not the same as, like, organic meat. But, I find it's a great alternative. I will not say, I won't be one of those people that say, there's no taste whatsoever. Yeah, it tastes different, right? But I like the taste all the same. And, yeah, I do like the idea of lab-grown meat. But will people invest in it? Because that's the thing, right? Is that everyone comes up with great ideas to come with this sort of stuff, But no one wants... Major people don't want to invest in it because major corporations and well, the meat industry in general will just lobby to the government and be like, hey, don't fund that guy. Because if you fund that guy, I've got all these workers that are not going to have any more jobs, so it's going to be your problem. And therefore, we don't have any funding in lab-grown meat. If there is developed to be flavorful while also being abundant and lower cost, problem solved. Yeah, that's right. That is the solution. But there are many things blocking that solution because mainly people, big companies can lobby the government to be like, hey, don't do that. Bugs are far less costly to grow and will offer a deal of protein. I have heard about the bugs as protein thing. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's true as well. Because also, one thing with the lab-grown meat, and a lot of the older generation are freaked out from it, mainly because of the fact that people go, oh, it's like ungodly and stuff, it's all sciencey and works in a lab and stuff like that. So people, I think in the future, give it 20 to 30 years, and yeah, lab-grown meat will become a bit more of a thing, but not for now. Yeah, that's an important point as well in developing underdeveloped countries. Because that's one reason, it's been brought up in a lot of like Kurzgesagt videos that talk about how like the reason why climate change is accelerating so rapidly is not just because of the big dumpers of carbon emissions like USA and China, but it's also the developing countries that need to catch up industrially. So they're using coal and oil and all this sort of stuff to fund all their factories to catch up. Oh, I have some ogres attacking me, apparently. Oh, a whole lot of them. This is going to be interesting. Let's do Curse the Atrigan. Give that a go. Oh, let's mind control some of these guys. Ooh, who am I gonna hit the most? There we go. You're not doing anything. What are you doing? Get the fucker back in there. Yeah. I think what you're pointing out, Novum, is pretty true. All of it is true that we should be doing it, but there's powerful things in play that are preventing the advancement of things. If anything, the main thing we need to start dismantling if we are actually to have any progress in climate change, science, all this sort of stuff, is just to look at the media. The media is one of the hugest problems that we have in our world right now. Pretty much lots of countries around the world are just gaming democracy. That's all they're doing. If you can control the information, you control the democracy, basically. If you convince your voter base that the opposing party that has progressive ideals, progressive policies, are evil, or they make up arrant lies, they will just vote for the other party and be like, yeah, I don't want them to bring in a death tax. That sounds horrible, when that death tax didn't ever exist. That's something that happened here in Australia. You may think I'm making that up, but it's legit something that the Murdoch media said. Yeah. Oh, Jesus, that was a big hit. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I can't safely say what it's like in your country when it comes to democracy and it being controlled by the media. In Australia, it just doesn't make any sense sometimes. Like, you come across, like, truck drivers and, like, people, like, working class people who are like, yeah, I vote for the Liberals. It's like, why do you vote for the Liberals? They're all about, like, big business and stuff. Why do you have any investment in this political party? And they're like, yeah, but it's better than those greenies, like, coming in, like, ruining the budget. It's like, they didn't ruin... They haven't held any major powers... The major power in Parliament ever. Where the fuck is this coming from? I got fucking swarm of insects on me. I can't choose to have an alternative non-corrupt politician lead my country. Yeah, it's a fair point. That's the thing in our country that's becoming a bit of an issue. There is no media alternative. In Queensland, the state 2 up from me, all of the newspapers are owned by Murdoch. So everything is right-wing bias in that state. Here in Melbourne, I'm pretty sure like 80% of the newspapers are owned by Murdoch. And it's also, there's a vicious feedback cycle where it's like the Australian pops out an article, and then that gets shared around to all the other Murdoch media presses, and then that just becomes the narrative, basically. And it's frustrating as hell. No, we don't. We do, but it's like very, very tiny. It relies on Patreon to actually be funded. And, no, we only have one independent YouTuber, and his name's Friendly Geordies. And, he's even actually being lambasted by the Murdoch media at the moment, being like, what are we gonna do about this Friendly Geordies fella? He's a bit of an antagonist, isn't he? He just can't let sleeping dogs lie. He's always punching down and stuff like this. There's all this bullshit surrounding him. Ooh, that's not looking good. I'm going to put myself into a bubble. Yeah, I can't safely say I don't know too much about the independent media space in your country. Ooh, this is looking a bit dire. Let's finish this off, huh?
Oh. Oh.
In Australia, you'd say you don't know. Not exactly. We are starting to have existential issues, primarily because it's really important, but it's not an issue that affects people's daily lives. Well, that is a point, yeah. But I think a lot of people in Australia are starting to realize that, yeah, just because it's not a current need now doesn't mean that we can just go, that's future people's problems. But a lot of the younger generation is actually becoming more aware of climate change and all that sort of stuff. But one thing that is an issue is that our current Prime Minister, they've started this whole, like, their version of the New Deal, basically, where they're like, oh, Australia's in a recession, even though we're, like, amongst all the countries in the world, we're on, like, one of the lowest ranks of who got in the worst depression, the worst recession, basically. But they're like, oh, let's do like a gas-led recovery. We're gonna mine gas in the middle of this country and export it to the rest of the world. And like, climate change. Don't mine gas. It's like the opposite of what you should be doing. It's really bad. And one thing that's really shit about it is that, so the gas plant is being built on a piece of land that is owned by one of the biggest donors of the Liberal Party from the last election.
I shall deal with this one.
Well, that was a tough fight.
Certainly.
Still cannot find where this person is. That's a valid point. I mean, like, we do have a pretty secure... That's the thing, right? So, our universal healthcare, it doesn't bring up a lot of issues for people in that regard. Like, no one talks about how, like, oh man, it needs to be made better. If I get sick, I don't have to worry about, how much am I going to pay for the doctor? I just go to the doctor, and then that's it. I don't have to worry anymore. If I get fucking stabbed and I have to go to hospital, I don't have to worry about the bill. Stuff like that. So, yeah, in terms of healthcare, we are fine. In regards to the States, unfortunately. But there is some things, like, for welfare, like, our unemployment shit is really bad. People cannot afford anything on what they get. They get, like, $240 a fortnight, which can't even afford... It's not even enough for rent, let alone food, and all the other expenses that people have when they're on welfare. It has not changed in, like, 15 years, and the prices of things in Australia has just increased. But yeah, that's the thing as well, is like... I mean, like, I've been reading on some of the subreddits and stuff how people are actually losing their houses because people have lost their jobs and therefore have lost their healthcare. And as a result, they're losing their houses because they don't have moratoriums on rent. Like, I will say that I do agree with you, Novum, about how Australia, some people don't need to be as politically active because they have all their needs met. All their needs, maybe not. Most, like, pretty important needs, yeah, like healthcare. But like I was on Centrelink I've been on Centrelink for most of my life, which is our welfare, and I remember how, like, you know, you can't afford to eat properly. Basically, you have to eat like packeted noodles. I remember I lived off toast for like 6 months, or peanut butter toast. Sorry, I should include that. But yeah, it's kind of shit. And how, like, you know, you literally cannot afford to move to another house because you have to get bombed, and if you don't have the money for bond because you're constantly spending all your money on your essentials like your food, your transport, and your phone budget, and then your rent, how are you going to save up money to move to a new house? So I went to Elmshire and I couldn't find her. So I'm going to go back here and ask again about where she is. Because I went to Elmshire and she wasn't there. I have a funny feeling that I should be resting. My character's got 2 injuries and is nearly dead. So you're truly in a desperate situation, you have to work and can't... Well, that's something that Hannah Arendt pointed out. Is that one reason she alluded to was the idea that the reason why a lot of people in the modern era are less politically active is because of capitalism, basically. That alluded to the idea that because people have to work so much to earn a living, that they're exhausted from work, that most of their days are taken up from work, that they actually don't have the time to be politically active. You know, it's a pretty noteworthy observation from someone in, like, the 1950s. Oh, sorry, when was that? When was this book published? Because she points it out in here. I'm trying to see when this was published. First published in 1951, yeah. And that's exactly it. That's why we've had such this rolling of, you know, it's just the situation's gotten worse because people haven't been able to actually kind of organize and fight back against it. I mean, look at, like, you know, most of history. If people are jobless, starving, they most of the time do rise up and cause a rebellion because they're not stuck 8 hours a day toiling over trying to earn a living. A lot of people, like peasants back then, worked in very seasonal sort of rotations. I mean, yes, they did work every day, obviously, but there were seasonal breaks. Actually, it would be pretty interesting to see if rebellions around certain times of history coincided with, I don't know, you know, just after the harvest was done and stuff like that. That'd be pretty interesting. Like a room. Yeah. Well, it's hard to say that you're... I mean, like, obviously you live in the country, so it's easier for you to comment on this. But... Oh, yeah, freedom of thought. Yeah, that's definitely a thing. For you guys. For us, though, we're... Like, for Australians, we can be... I think there's, like, 2 extremes. We can be extremely laid back. No, that doesn't make any sense. Because there's times where, like, you know, people claim they're laid back, but really they just don't care about something because it doesn't affect them. But when, say, like, for example, like, a lot of these, like, people with the anti-mask stuff here in Australia, like, these people in their entire lives have never been affected by, like, a lot of the drivers I knew at work. Like, they just, like, they seem pretty easygoing and stuff like this, but the slightest thing of, like, you have to do this, they're like, why do I have to wear a mask and everything? And it's like, because everyone else is, and it's not that big a deal. It's like, no, No, I pay my taxes. I deserve this and that and the other. Yeah, it's exactly it. The nothing's an issue until it affects them. Alright, Oh, I completely missed what Sam Blip said. A little non-American Canadian little ones. There are online. I wonder if it's just a political vibes in the UK and Australia. So I'll go back to Elm's Reach and I'll try and find that person again. Because maybe I have to tack him in the middle of that circle. Which I'm not really wanting to do. But I think that'll be... I'll go back there and if I can't find them, then that'll be that really. Oh, hey Zainai, how you going? Good to see you. What is it, like 9 o'clock over there right now? 9:10 or something? So, where is this person?
Builder's wisdom to you.
Who leads your order? Irona. She travels to Elmshore to renew her strength. Okay, I went to Elmshore and she's not there.
Builder's wisdom to you.
Why you must see as herself. She is kind and wise. Tell me about the Golden Grove. What do you believe? I must go. Hey, yeah, about that. Full House fails Murder Hobo storyline.
Yes.
Yeah,
Certainly.
like, my character's kind of a Murder Hobo. Like, there's been multiple times where I've, like, tried to do things diplomatically, and it just ends up horribly. Like, and I'll just be like, I'll fuck it up majorly, and I'll have to, like, go, well, this is it now. Alright, so she should be in Elmshore. Yeah, this character is played a bit more to the chaotic end of things. So it's been good that way. A lot less stress. You know, if a whole fucking group starts attacking me, I'm like, all right, fine. Guess I'm into this. I still can't find this fucking person. I don't know where she is. I'm just gonna turn this mode on. Just run around the place and try and find her, because this is ridiculous. She should be in Elmshore. Is this Elmshore? This is Elmshore. Where the fuck are you? Vote for me. I'll get houses available for you. Don't ask how I got those houses. Just know that the houses are there. The dead dude. Where the fuck is she? Don't make me look on the wiki. Is she in the ogre cave? Nah. Time to wiki. I can't do this anymore. I'm too impatient. Plus, I want to go to bed. Elf stands in the middle of a dais in the middle of a clearing. But where though? You haven't said where. Ground is blanketed in leaves. But where is she? Location Elmshore. Am I in the wrong Elmshore? The fuck is this about? I see it! She's hiding in a deer. Reminds me of Doom Patrol. Okay, we found her. She's on this little island here. I'll continue the save of Servant of Death. Because right now I'm doing the quest for the... It's to gain the favor of the God of Death. And her whole thing is like, well, I don't know if it's her. I think it's they. Because the god is a dual aspect of both a dude and a woman. So I think it's they. So they are saying that there's two people in the world that have outlived their purpose and everything, and they're like cheating life basically, so you need to kill them. I'm like, no questions asked. Alright, I'm just gonna do this and gain your favor basically, so, you know. Here we go. An elf stands on the dais in the middle of a clearing. The ground is blanketed with leaves and various shades of russet and gold. Her eyes are closed and her arms folded in front of her. A curtain of autumnal yellow hair hangs in front of her face. As you draw near, she lifts her chin and looks at you with shifting hazel eyes. Yeah, Zanai is a mate of mine from Perth, and I actually used to DM for him. So I know pretty well about his tendencies to kill everything in the room.
Greetings, Estremor. You are among the Ovates of the Golden Grove.
That's nice. Barroth has sent me to end your life. It has continued for too long.
And counted on your silent acceptance of such commands, no doubt. What is a god that his voice should carry so far? And what are you that you should so eagerly obey? The gods only have dominion over what we cede, and you would cede matters of life and death to them.
I didn't cede half my face to Gallowayne by choice. I wish her sentiment to be true, but agelessness has made her ripe with folly. The gods may be fickle and hard to know, but they are not constrained by our permission. Are you any different? You extended your life beyond its natural span. Through work and wisdom, the greater the tree, the more fruit it shall yield. There are vines climbing an ancient elm into the sunlight. My growth sustains them, until our harmony falls prey to a god's should our harmony fall prey to a god's jealousy? As they say, the well of knowledge grows deeper by the season. And we owe our elders respect. But if we're keeping to this metaphor, I think the gods make for older trees still. Your growth shunts theirs. They learn nothing apart from you. If this is what you demand of the other Ovates, you're nothing from the Ethok Knoll or the gods. The gods are wiser and more ancient even than you. No, I wouldn't say that. There we go. Your words carry truth and shame. It was never my desire to diminish my followers, but I can see where perhaps my roots left no room for them to grow. Very well. If my season has ended, then let me pass with it. As she closes her eyes, the warmth and color drain from her body. Her body's... Whoa, what? Her breathing slows, her ashen skin stiffening into a dull patina. I think it's patina. When the last sigh that leaves her lungs cracks carve their way through her flesh, dividing into hardening ridges. Within seconds, Irona has petrified, her bark-encrusted face turned towards the other Ovates below the dais. So she just fucking peaced out. She's like, peace! And just turned to stone, basically. Oh, and they got no business here now. It's like, well, she was a fucking ride.
Yes.
Oh, she's still there. You okay? I know, right?
Oh.
Lost the will to live fast in the Parme Amidala. She died from sadness. Well, I've done as she bidded, and I did it in a clever way. Last time I avoided this because I didn't want to fucking butcher her, but... Look at me now. I even went into a situation ready to kill someone and I ended up just convincing them, you should kill yourself. Oh. I have the high ground. If we're continuing with the Star Wars meme references, I'm gonna go to Tear Everon and hop in and be like, hello there. The moral high ground. Oh, I wonder what happens when I go here. Will people get pissy at me? Iruna lives no more. Alright, so they are talking about it. What does Iswild say?
Many blessings, traveler.
Ah, she doesn't care. What will you do now that... what will the other Ovates do now that Iruna is gone? That's unclear. Iruna's passing has shown us the perils of leadership even when authority is as benevolent as hers. Most of us become Ovates so that we wouldn't be shackled to the whims of a god. Some of us have questioned what it means to elevate us. So, that's good. It's her death has taught people that, you know, maybe we shouldn't be investing so much faith in certain things of authority. Like, people who live the longest are not necessarily the most powerful. That's pretty cool. Depends what definition of anarchy you mean, but yeah. Oh, it's getting late here. My son's gonna wake up at fucking 6 o'clock in the morning and just run in and just be like, Dad. I'm like, oh god. Alright, save again. I think I do need to save this point in particular because of the I forgot what I was gonna say. That's right, recording for the video. Dealing with Skydragon, 7 of Death. Yeah, Zina, you have 2 kids now. Oh man, I forgot about that. That must be interesting. Or have you adapted really quickly? They say that like the second time around it's not as bad because like, whoop, it's just like, you know, like GTA San Andreas meme, like, here we go again. Oops, wrong button. Alright, Bareth was here. Oh, game is paused, that will do it. Once more you stand before the shrine. Yeah, it's the worst. Once more you stand before the shrine. Skull constellation marks its dedication to Bareth. Oh, it's like 10 times worse. Oh man, that's unfortunate. But I'm sure there's some good moments there. I mean, it's all got to be worth it. Something, right? There's no downtime. Yeah, I get you. Like, it's weird with kids as well, because like, you know, they there's like ebbs and flows where it comes to like, you know, at a certain time period, like in the first year, there's like, oh, you're just doing nothing but looking after them, and then there's that period where you can kind of just like put them in their crib and they go to sleep and you do other things, and then like another year rolls by and like you like have to pay more attention to them because they're crawling around and like sucking on the edges of like freaking tables and your stuff, like fucking stop it and everything, and then it dies down again because they kind of understand, like, you know, just sit down, just do this and that, and they're calm and peaceful, and then it just goes really shit again. Like my son at the moment, he's doing all right, but there's a lot of emotional stuff we have to deal with for him. Like, he'll have like tantrums and we have to kind of teach him how to like kind of guide, like teach him like, what's going on, little man. He'd be like, I'm mad, and I'm like, okay, why are you mad, and everything. No, I'll just have epic stories to tell about my son, being like, talk about all the times that he like has like epic monologues with himself as he replays episodes of his cartoons and stuff. Be like, you literally didn't have to watch the TV. You could just recite one of the episodes and just be like, "Manana, manana, 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 manana." So here we go. Bereth. As you pray to Bereth, you again find yourself on the road. Squinting into the distance, you see a short, pale figure waiting for you. At first, you think it's another vision of Archdruid Reston. But then you notice the figure's skeletal frame and rictus grin. He stands in front of another skull gate, but the way leads down, not onward. He beckons for you to approach. That must be the usher, Alos' voice says. He says in a low voice. Behind you is a woman. Her skin, milk pale against her black hair. She wears a suit of armor so dark that it sucks the light from the stars. The road winds up a mountain behind her.
A toll, traveler.
And the pallid knight. Pay the pallid knight. You drop a few coppers into her hand. As she closes her fist around the coins, you instantly feel a small weight added to your purse. The lord of this road demands a toll of all. But he lends generously, that all might travel his road again. The road bores into the mountain, and you find yourself in a gigantic cavern. The ceiling curves up and away, and it's dotted with moisture at this distance. The shining beads look upon stars, clustered and scattered in constellations. The usher and the pallid knight lead you to a trail carved into the edge of the cavern. Two identical Caith mouths wait up ahead, and you follow the usher to one of them. Standing at the edge and gazing down, you see an endless, ever-changing plain bisected by a road. Only by then do you realize that you're no longer on the road. As you follow the road to the point where it disappears below you, you realize that you're standing in one of the eye sockets of the massive skull. The usher points to the road. Archdruid Reston appears below you. He is just as you remembered him, stern and smooth-skinned. With each step along the road he grows, swelling with blood and essence. His heavy steps become slower and slower until he stops altogether. His distended body fills the path completely.
You met a dwarf traveling this road. What did you do?
He had lived many centuries. I brought him a new life. I brought him death. He lived on the blood of others. I saw justice done. I do that one. Oh, Reston has stood in the place for too long. He's merely set himself moving again. Fulfilled the will of the gods. He lived on the blood of others. I saw justice done.
There is no justice in the tides that move the seas, nor in the seasons that nurture and slay all growing things. There is no morality in the forces that move the world. They are inevitable, products of their own self-perpetuating motion.
Hell yeah. As Reston's swollen body ruptures, the effect is like a dam bursting. Ghostly figures as hazy and indistinct as wisps of smoke continue along the cleared path. Some tumble and rush along while others amble and drift, but all continue forward. The usher directs your attention to another figure moving down the path. This time you see high, ovate Arona. As she follows the road, her movements become slow and erratic. Her legs creak with every step, and her feet grow long, thick roots that burrow into the ground. She finally stops, rooted in place.
You found a tree that had lived for centuries. Its roots were deep, and its boughs sheltered many. Why did you cut it down?
I was tired of the tree's endless riddles. Trees don't belong in the road. I thought if I cleared the tree, maybe the lord of the road would grant me a boon. It is unnatural, it couldn't sustain itself.
Nothing is self-sustaining. All draw their life's energy from the deaths of others. This is why all must remain part of the cycle of death and rebirth.
Arona's body petrifies below, and the shimmering leaves of her hair blow down the path. You seek another who has lived his lives on the brink of the cycle. He sits on the inside of the wheel, observing its revolutions. With each life, he is plucked from the stream and returned to it intact. Why do you hunt sorry, I got it confused. Almost said Aethys, but it's Theos. Theos has entrapped souls for answers. He understands what's happened to me. Revenge, my soul's torment is his doing. I think at this point I just have to admit that I am doing it because he's about to bring about the end of the world. I've got to stop him from giving her absolute power. Wrong game!
If you know this much, then another god has already spoken with you, and given you half of the answer.
Theos serves Wodica. She desires an escape from her own cycle, power without decline. Theos has removed thousands of souls from the cycle so that their essence might empower her. You must stop him, and you must return them back to the cycle. Ooh, okay. I like that idea a lot more. So, for those who just joining in, there's 4 avenues you can pursue. There's put them into the souls of new children, souls of the children who don't have souls, I should say. Release them to entropy, and the thousands of souls are just like gone like, you know, the fucking morning fog. And you have put them into their essence will be put into the current people living in Deerwood, or this one, return all the souls to the wheel to like keep the wheel going basically. And I find that option way better for this particular playthrough, for this particular character. What end would it serve to send the souls back into the cycle? Attending to those souls is a question of stability, Watcher, of maintaining the natural order of the world and the ebb and flow of essence. Couldn't they be returned to Hollowborn? What's wrong with Wodica seizing power? What's wrong with Wodica seizing power? The god that literally wants to just control everything. Cycles are changeless and monotonous. Surely there's a better alternative. If Theos was meddled with these souls, perhaps it would be better to destroy them. I think I understand what you're telling me. The usher gestures to the road, and the starry expanse beyond where the pallid night speaks. I only show you the motion of the universe, Watcher. And why do you need mine, for that matter? The God's Guide, yeah, we don't directly interfere. Fair enough. I don't see why this has anything to do with me. I must go to Sun in the Shadow now.
No mortal can survive the descent into the pit. But there are souls on the Burial Isle that are pledged to me. I will grant them to you, and they shall bear you down safely, as well as light the way beyond.
Return them to the cycle. I just got the achievement! Return them to the cycle, Watcher. Promise that you will, and I shall grant you power befitting of a champion of death. Accept my favor, however, and I will demand this decision as your due. I collect from all mortals in time. Okay, gang, what do you think? Promise Berith that I will return them to the wheel? I'm personally on board for that. I like that idea a lot. In the last game, I followed Galawain, so I think this time I deserve to kind of branch out a little bit more and do something different. I wonder what Berith did to get so much younger in the space of 5 years. It's the souls of innocence. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's the innocent essence of many thousands of souls. Alright. I promise to return the souls to the cycle. So be it, Watcher. Do not forget your promise. Barath's boon. When at last you open your eyes again, you are standing in Ter Evron, filled with Barath's power.
Oh?
So what is that power? Barath's boon. 5 defense against paralyzed, petrified. +1 resolve. That's pretty good. Having a stat increase is pretty good. 5 defense against paralyzed, that's always good. Petrified, this is actually a pretty good thing. It's good for definitely the paralyzed thing, because that can really fuck you up in a lot of when you first start combat. Resolve, yeah. Oh, and as you can see here, guys, this is my reputations. I am stoic as hell, or very rational, very honest, and then aggressive and diplomatic second. Okay, I'm just gonna call it there. So I'm thinking next stream might be Sun and Shadow. I don't know if I'll play it through. I do want to kind of react to it normally on stream and be like this and that. Zyna, I don't know if you're still here. But I got Twitch working. So I might be, after I finish Pillars of Eternity here on YouTube, because I want people to come to my channel and be like, oh, this is the playthrough I did of Pillars of Eternity. But my regular streaming schedule will shift over to Twitch. I don't know how much you're streaming anymore, Zainai, but we could do something, and I can watch you every once in a while, stuff like that. Anyway, so finished. Oop, that's caps. Finished. Barris. That's the one thing I'm a little bit. I did look into it. Apparently, YouTube can get pretty pissed off if you try to upload it directly, like from Twitch and YouTube at the same time. I know it's like, you know, a proper thing, but someone told me once. I looked up a forum thing on it. Apparently, someone streamed a YouTube video as well as Twitch, and they got banned on YouTube. So. Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like, I was pretty surprised when I heard about it as well. But I think what you can do is you can stream on Twitch, and then 2 days later you can upload your Twitch video onto YouTube, and that doesn't cause anyone to get in any issue. Okay, so as we've reached the end of this particular playthrough. I'm tired as fuck. I want to go to bed. The coffee has only done so much. So again, I want to thank everyone that popped by for the stream. Yeah, it was a little bit empty for a bit, but I'm glad some people popped in and you know, decided to hang out a little bit. That was pretty cool. Yeah, everything's going pretty well. Personally, like Melbourne's coming out of lockdown. Things are kind of going back to the new normal, so to speak. Oh, you're playing Dota and listening. Oh, okay, cool. Oh man, I haven't played Dota in yonks. The game's probably a fucking alien to me now. But yeah, after this whole series of streams have concluded, I'll be going over to Twitch. That'll be pretty fun. I have everything already. I tested it this evening with my wife, so it works. I might do that for. I might put my channel. I might share out my channel soon. Yeah. I do. I'm very sorry to hear about all the stuff that's happening in the States when it comes to COVID. I just hope something happens that I don't know. All I can send is my best wishes. That's the only thing I can do. Yeah, all the best for you, Novum. But yeah. We'll see. Well, hopefully it improves soon. Starting January 20th, hopefully. But yeah. Yeah. Thanks again, everyone, for watching. I'm gonna try and catch some sleep. And yeah. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Sorry, I was clicking a book. I get a bit fidgety when I'm tired. Alright. Where can I... Yep. Alright. Have a good one.